Three, two, one. Hello, Nick Green here. Today's episode, I'm going to talk about workout intensity. Now, why am I picking this topic? Well, it kind of came about where there's a guy that I work with who was kind of making a joke with some fellow employees. They were leaving. They had their gym bags, and he was just like, "What are you guys gonna do at the gym when you get there?" Let me adjust the mic here. He was like, well, we're going to go work out. And he brought it up, and kind of a funny story. I'll let you be the judge. But he was just like, so many times I go to the gym, and I just see people, like, they'll do a set, and then they'll just sit down on the bench and then be on their phone for like 5-10 minutes, right? And then that totally kills the intensity. But if we're looking at how to measure intensity, I think it's important to consider what we would do to measure to determine if person A had an intense workout or person B had an intense workout. But, I mean, I think we all can agree that if we are taking many long breaks in between sets, and his joke, the guy at work, he was just like, yeah, I'll be on the machine, I'll be doing my workout, I'm in and out in 20 minutes, so his intensity is probably relatively high. He sees somebody, they do one set on the bench, and then they take a 5-minute break, and then they do another set, and then they take another break. Then they might switch exercises. And I brought up the point too. It's like, well, depending on what somebody's programming is, that person may be doing what they're supposed to. But I get it. Looks can kind of be deceiving. If we're looking at the, if it smells like a fish, swims like a fish, tastes like a fish, it's probably a fish. If it looks like low intensity, it probably is. But so I just want to kick off this episode. Just with that piece on, working out. We spend a lot of time doing it, and really it comes down to, like, how effective are we with that, with our time. And so intensity is a great measure. So that's just, that's probably why how I got into CrossFit. CrossFit, I'm not saying it's that everybody should do it. It's a must, it's a must have, but I love it. I think it's a methodology that goes beyond, what maybe people think about it, but we'll just leave it at that. That's a podcast for another day. But a key component of CrossFit is intensity. And what I loved about the CrossFit Level 1 training seminar that I went to was that intensity is measured, and they take a physics approach. But before we jump into that, let's get back to the health benefits here. So intensity, I think we all can agree that it's going to help us increase our heart rate. Any movement or activity that helps us increase the heart rate, that's going to come along with all kinds of health benefits, right? So we get better cardiovascular endurance. We'll probably lose some fat cells. We'll probably gain some muscle mass, things like that. So all those gains that we're interested in. So again, if we're starting with intensity, it's going to align with some health benefits most likely, and then that's going to lead to, that intensity, whatever kind of movement, whatever preferred activity we enjoy, we change, whatever that is, the intensity, it's going to be important to maintain that no matter what you do. So intensity. So in preparation for this episode, I looked at a couple things. I looked at my level 1 training guide that you can see here on the screen here. I also have I'll show it on the screen. Again, this is a video, but if you're listening on the podcast, I'm showing an old, looks like a 70s version physics book, and you'll see why I looked into that. Interestingly enough, on the back, Barnes & Noble's, right? Barnes & Noble's used to be a very popular brick and mortar textbook store. Anyway, so very cool. So this was published probably in the 70s and 80s, but we know physics and science, the principles are there, they don't change. So I just wanted to cross-reference that a little bit again, and then I looked at a couple different websites as I was looking for, how do we go about measuring intensity and, applying that to what we do on the daily in the gym. So, all right, let's go ahead and jump right into it. So now, beginning with this CrossFit Level 1 training guide, we look up the words power on the search here in my PDF. Power, I think I found it under intensity. Intensity, that's not popping up there. Let's go ahead and we'll just bring it out here. So the thing that I took away most from that level 1 training seminar, again, this coaching seminar is kind of the entry level formalized coaching program for anybody that wants to coach in a brick and mortar CrossFit gym. And so everybody's required to take this course. And so the one piece, obviously, if you've gotten to know me over the past couple of years, that I love, all right, I found it. I love data, right? And Coach Greg Glassman, he was the founder of CrossFit. So he wanted to take a science-based approach to measuring, okay, who's more fit than the other. So intensity is kind of the key here. So this stuff gets a little hairy and complicated. I'm going to do my best to unpack it. And I think there's an extra kind of behavioral piece that could benefit from looking at our workouts, when it comes to intensity and repeated measures. So there's this chart here. It has an x-axis, y-axis. On the x-axis has time in minutes, and then on the y-axis has power of foot-pounds per minute. So basically the amount of work that we do. So there are 5 different data paths. This black line is the best fit, so it kind of has that classic, what would this be, a hyperbolic curve? I believe that's right. My basic research friends will shoot me. But anyway, you kind of see the best fit there. And then you have different types of exercises that what you can do is you can plot on the x-axis how long it took you to complete a workout, and then how much power you produced as measured by foot-pounds per minute. And the spreadsheet that I'll show here briefly in a little bit, that those X's on this graph here, really, that's the day-to-day activity that I think isn't really explained too well. But again, it was reassuring as an attendee, as a now CF, CrossFit Level 1 certificate, that it was nice to see how there was this kind of database approach to, tackling fitness, because, you got other types of workout modalities and things, and, I love the measurement piece, so there's that. So when it comes down to it, a big piece here is that this power this is where the physics books comes in here. So I'll go ahead and open up the iPad. Again, this is video version. If you're listening on a podcast, go ahead and find it on the YouTube. So let me move some things on my desk here. Holy cow. All right. So again, at the top, intensity is key to, to general fitness gains. We can agree to that. So we start with intensity. The next thing about measuring intensity is that an intensity measure is really a measure of power, right? In the graph, we see the power is foot-pounds per minute. We don't need to pay attention to the actual values, but we'll just go ahead and make sure that we are on the same page there now. Now, when it comes to power equals, basically how much work you're doing over time, right? I used to watch Rob Dyrdek's Fantasy Factory, and Big Black, the guy there, rest in peace, he always, his catchphrase was do work, son. So all about getting that work in, working on your technique, working on your movements, spending that, hour in high intensity activity. So power now, so we got intensity equals power. Power is work over time. You break down power once more and work here. Now we're starting to get over. Work is force times distance over time. And then we look at power. Then you can break force down. This is where my physics knowledge kind of paused a little bit once I got into derivatives and things. But force, we all know, force is mass times acceleration. And then we get distance over time. All right, so that's how we start breaking it down. Okay, so we're right there. Now, when I was looking for some quick Google research and all these things, what I came across was a spreadsheet that was posted on an old CrossFit, journal. Really it was kind of like a message board, and so it was. You can find it. I have a modified version that I prepared for this episode, but it's called the Domenico Power Output Calculator, DEM INICO power output calculator. So what this is an Excel spreadsheet that had 4 original tabs. This Nick Watt Edits one is my custom one, but you have let me try this again. Anthropometry, basically your body measurements, your workouts, movements. I have my edits there, and then my anthropometric data. So here again, we're not going to be measuring femur bones and tibia and forearm. That's what it has here. It has all these different weights, heights, ratios, and all these things. But this was kind of a nice start. So shout out to Mr. Domenico. I think his name is Matt, on the CrossFit Journal page to kind of put this together. Very useful, but I think what I'm going to do with this episode is kind of take it and have it more, really explain how to use it on the day-to-day, and which will help us think about our workouts and intensity and everything. So that's the spreadsheet there. So before we get into all the fun numbers and everything, again, we need to conceptualize what's happening when we're thinking about our workouts, whether it's a CrossFit workout or anything else. So getting back to the iPad here, what we want to look at, any type of workout, we want to look at, for the workout here, we'll call it the WOD. We want to consider, let's say we're doing 2 to 3 different types of movements here, and this is common in any type of workout, right? You might have a push-up, a wall ball, and maybe like a run or something like that. But you want what you do here with the spreadsheet, which is, again, the goal here is to look at how much power and information, or how much power data, how much intensity we're engaging in, how lazy are we, right? Are we working hard? Are we moving slow? All these data are going to help us. The point of all this is to give us new information that we can make better fitness decisions, right? So if we take these movements, really for all 3 of these, it comes down to, we need to know how much work it takes to move our body weight, how much work it takes to move, any extra load, and then we multiply that times, how many repetitions we have. Again, writing this on the iPad, and then we consider, the time, right? So we put that over time. So we look at, no matter what, our bodies are with us all the time, so we need to know our height and weight there. The extra load would be if we're doing like back squats in a workout, we need to know that the weight of the barbell. If we're doing pull-ups, we need to know if there's, are we doing weighted pull-ups, right? Any extra load as far as a wall ball, that's an extra 20 pounds or 14 pounds, depending on what you're using. Maybe you're doing, like a deadlift, that's an extra load, things like that. So conceptually here, we're looking at in any type of workout, we need to look at the movements we're engaging in and what the extra load is, how many repetitions we're doing. And then when we put that all over time, that's when we get a better understanding of how fit we are, right? So breaking it down simply, it's like if I did 20 repetitions of a push-up in 1 minute, as opposed to 20 repetitions over 10 minutes, we can all agree that the first workout of doing 20 repetitions of a push-up over 1 minute is going to be more intense. And again, intensity is a very subjective term, but when we map it onto these equations, these very simple math equations, we look at the body weight, we do that, we're producing more foot-pounds over time, right? We're producing more force, whatever your metric is. So that is going to be our, just a basic rationale of intensity. So now, getting to an example, this is where the fun part comes in. So we're going to break it down into just 3 kind of real basic, simple exercises to show us how using data in this way help us make better fitness decisions. So I'll briefly describe what's happening on these on this spreadsheet here. So the word I can't say, it's anthropometry, anthropometry data. Okay, so this is where you have your inches of how long your pelvis is, femur, tibia. I didn't really use this. Again, this is, I'm trying to best sort out what information we need, so I just ignore that. But we have the anthropometric data, which then comes into, we see a spreadsheet that looks like we get 6 participants here, different ages, different weights, height, structures, and everything. Then we have how heavy the thorax weighs, how many of those we had. We have 1 head, total kilograms. The quantity here is important because you have 2 arms, 2 forearms, 2 hands, things like that. So really what I did was I started looking at rough percentages here. And yes, again, getting back to my episode last week on valid and reliable data. These data might not be exactly valid, but they'll be reliable to the extent that I'm using the same general equations when it comes to calculating body weight and all these measures that you'll see shortly. But again, getting back to the worksheet. So those are, again, basically it's like how super scientific do you want to get with each of these data points. So now these body measures, so again, this kind of adds to the body weight load, how much distance we're covering, when it comes to performing like an air squat or a back squat, right? If I'm in the standing position and I'm 6 feet high or 6 feet tall and I'm squatting down to below parallel, I'm probably going to move about 18 to 24 inches depending on how low I get into the back squat. So that distance measure is a part of the force equation, again, which funnels it from all of these body length measures. So again, using rough estimates, but getting back to now how all of these how the body measures funnel into the workout data. So very impressed with how this worksheet works here. So it's not super exciting, visually sexy to look at, but what you do is you pick any type of movement, and let me go ahead and let me go to mine here. So we'll start from scratch. So movement here, you just pick what did we do here. So let's say we're going to take a deadlift movement. How many reps did we do? Let's say we did 3 by 8, 3 sets of 8. So let's say we did 24 reps. Let's say we did that at 225 pounds. And I'm just filling in columns left to right here, total reps. 225 pounds. These other columns here are only for box jumps and rope climbs. So what we do is these equations, and we figure out that the work done, body weight work done, again, is 1,592 pounds. So again, imagine that's just the deadlift motion of you having to hinge over, lift up your body by itself. But then when you add the barbell, the work done is that 24 times 225, and that becomes 9,998. So when you add those together, the amount of work that you did was 11,560 pounds. Okay, that was the amount of work. Now, when we consider the intensity, let's say we did that over 3 by 8. Let's say you took some rest, did it over 10 minutes. So now, in the column here, it shows us that we performed 19.27 foot-pounds a second. Right, so total seconds there. So we did that by seconds. So we could even just do, instead of seconds, we could just say it's minutes, and I could just do over, what is 600 seconds, 10 minutes? I can't think here. So if we just did minutes divided by 10, if we did 6, it could be 1,900 pounds a minute. So we'll go back to 600 for seconds. Or you could do minutes, right? So then you get 192. Again, we're just moving that decimal over. Okay. Let's go back and fix that equation there. So now, right, let's say we did that same amount of weight, but in a shorter time, we'll see, oops, I really messed up that equation. So now let's say we did it in 9 minutes. This number and the power is going to go up. So 21. So again, the more we do in less time, the intensity increases, right? So that was just for a simple deadlift workout. Now, what we do here, okay, so that was the first example. Now let's just look at kind of like a simple WOD here, simple workout, one that's already programmed in here. Let's say I have the example. I had Grace in here. Let's say Annie. Annie is a workout where you do double unders and you do sit-ups. Okay, so you do this for time. So now here, the work is already programmed in here based on your height and weight data. So you're going to do, close to 30,000 pounds of work based on sit-ups. You're jumping up and down 150 times, and that takes work. So now let's just say I've done this workout before. I think I did it. I can't remember. Maybe it was like 7 minutes, something like that. So when we do, when we put that together, well, that was not working out. So now we begin to see 71.68 foot-pounds a second. So you get the idea. So now the important thing to look at is, okay, let's go ahead and make a quick little, XY, a little XY chart here. So if I just do round 1, round 2, round 3, round 4, round 5, or you could say any session, 1, 2, 3. So we know that we did it in 7 minutes, right? So we could track time. We could say in seconds. You could say we did it in 420 seconds. And foot-pounds a second was 768, right? So these are going to work, or these numbers are going to change hand in hand. So let's say next time you do this in 6:48. Great. So now we're at 4:08. And your number is going to increase there. 73, 79. And let's say the next time we do it, so we need 3 data points to make a trend. And let's say the next time you did it in 6:55. And now that's 415 seconds. And then we go to 72.54 foot-pounds per second. So now, this is the value of looking at how looking at data this way is beneficial. So again, the spreadsheet that Mr. Domenico created was great, but now the next piece that we can have is charting these workouts over time. So let's go ahead and look at workouts. All right. So now, why is this all goofy? Let me go ahead and I'm making a line graph. Okay, so here, now let's plot this on the secondary axis here. All right, so now let's say we did these first 3 times. Let's say with no coaching. First 3 sessions. So now what we could do here is like, okay, all right, well, I want to get some coaching. Let's say I need to work on my double unders or timing. Okay, let's say we do that. Let's say double under training happens before session 4, in between sessions 3 and 4. Double under training. Okay, so now let's say we get to, now all of a sudden, boom, 5:45. What that turns into is 3:45. 3:45, and then the foot-pounds went to 87.26. All right, so now we just see how these two values here are now, we'll call this Annie performance. It's 2 values. We have the, this is the power. The power is increasing over time when while the time is going down. So the seconds completed, we start at 4:20, then 3:45. And so the magic here is that what we can do is then look at the Annie performance. We begin looking at, okay, well, here's the magic of doing this. We need to break this line real quick. We need to break this line because we need to tell ourselves a story here. Let's say, boom, insert. We need to put a little line here, and I'm just doing this because it's easier to understand what's happening here. So again, what do we say before session 4? Business as usual. But then once we had some new coaching here, then we saw we had the blue line, which was our seconds decreased, and then the red line, our power increased. So those worked inversely with each other. So when one went down, the other went up. Okay. So again, you can start seeing the beauty of having this spreadsheet. But again, you're not going to spend a lot of time like using the spreadsheet every day. So I think there's a better way to kind of organize this information. And I'm going to work on some type of tool that would be easier for you to use, because it took me just a long time to just figure out how the equations were working and everything else. So, all right, so that was for kind of a simple workout. But now let's say we want to get fancy. We have a very complicated workout. And so I'll go ahead and grab a workout that I'll grab it from the cell phone here, from Wodify again. Very clunky. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to look at our workout from yesterday. So I did this with a buddy of mine. So we did, all right, so we started off with, oh no, is that other night in here? I did bar muscle ups. Muscle up. Okay, well, apparently the muscle ups are just there. Okay, so we did muscle ups, then we did, so this is a long workout. This is a partner workout. We did muscle ups and we did deadlifts. Then we did pull ups. Next came power cleans. And then we did calorie row. Do we have rowing? Come on, rowing. Very rough estimate. Rowing. Burpees. All right, then we did Then we did burpees. So you can see how many movements here. So in my example earlier, we just had, let's say we had 3 workouts, right? But now, or 3 movements, but now we have 1, 2, 3. We have seven movements. So we did burpees, and then we did calorie bike. I don't know if we have cycling. Would it be cycling? I didn't look this up ahead of time. So there's rowing in there. Row, run, very rough estimate. Let's just put rowing back in there again, and we'll just, for an example. Again, so this is a little limited here, but okay. So now back to muscle ups. We did 20 muscle ups, and then we did 30 deadlifts. This was at 225. Then we did 40 pull-ups. Then we did power cleans at 155. Then we did rowing. We did 60 calories on the row. I don't know. Okay, I'll see if that's how that works. 60 calories. Burpees, 70 burpees. Row, we did 80. So we'll see how this works here. So, and then I timed it on my watch. Let me go ahead and look at how long it took us. Yesterday, we did, it was 22:32. 22 minutes. It was a long workout. A lot of calories. 332 calories. All right, so now let's see how much work that we did. Okay. Total work. Okay, we did pull-ups there. Average weight. Okay, so it looks like I'm just checking to see if they all filled in. So we got muscle-ups, deadlifts, pull-ups, power cleans, row, 60. I don't know if that rowing calories right. Work done, body weight. Let me go ahead and look at the movements here. So let's look at the row. 165 work times 45 per meter traveled. Okay, well, I'll just assume that's right. Anyway, getting back to the spreadsheet here with my edits. So here we see, so we did approximately, again with these numbers, 426 foot-pounds of work. And we did that over 22 minutes and 32 seconds. So as a team here, we did 57.27 foot-pounds a second. Sorry. So a lot of work happening there. So you can see if, let's say, I know there's a pair next to us that did it in like 19 minutes. So they did the same amount of work, but their power output was that much higher. So you can kind of see how all these numbers fill in, again, as you kind of go through everything. So this is a very, again, it's kind of cumbersome, but it's very interesting to see. Again, let's say you have a workout. Let's say you did the same 22-32, but now let's say you make the deadlift weight a little lighter. So you did 185. So you're going to you see how the power output only goes down to 75,000. Let's say the power clean, you did, 135. So you kind of see how those numbers go down. So, but also maybe let's say you did the deadlift at 225. So again, there's just different measures of intensity. There are so many variables. That's the good thing and the bad thing about doing CrossFit. There's so many variables. It's hard to keep track of everything. The spreadsheet kind of helps, but then the bad thing is, or did I start with the good thing? I can't remember. The good thing is variability. It's great for programming, great for muscles, great for, progress, all those things. The bad thing is when you're actually trying to figure out what the moving pieces are and where you're at, there's a lot to keep track of, as you can see through this example, the spreadsheet. But I think that's just kind of the perfect kind of segue to, this has great utility, I think. Again, I'm going to work on a better version of, cleaning up these spreadsheets, is that we need to learn how to, respond to, workouts that they're prescribed at RX weight. Oftentimes coaches say, keep up the intensity. Well, what does that mean? There's, 7 movements in this workout. How do I make that a little bit better? Do I change the number of reps? Do I change the weight, right? So let's say, I don't know. Okay, let's say the output, 76,000 here. Let's say, well, to keep the intensity up, I can't do 225, but we're at 76,000. Okay, we dropped it to 185. Maybe let's just do 40. 40. Okay, so if you just did 10 extra repetitions, but at a lower weight, your power output's actually going to be more than doing, 30 at 225. So there's just so many things to manipulate, and that, again, my kind of goal is to figure out how to best provide everybody with tools to make the best decisions possible when it comes to, do I need to do this workout RX? Do I need to scale it? Do I need to modify it? Where am I at in the movements? Maybe I can't do power cleans. I'm just learning. Do I do something else? Maybe my deadlifts, my back is sore. I can't do muscle ups. What's my scale? So again, it's all about keeping, your power output high, maintaining intensity, keeping the heart rate up, making it happen. So hopefully this is a valuable, exercise in looking at the data. Again, this is just kind of the mathematical approach to looking at intensity, because it's, especially when it comes to CrossFit, it seems like everything's kind of arbitrary and people are all over the place. But when you kind of look at the numbers behind the scene, you can see the value behind it all. So again, just to kind of review, intensity, super important to, just having all kinds of benefits and health gains in the gym when it comes to heart strength, cardiovascular endurance, strength gains, all those basic things. The CrossFit Level 1, program, it showed me, just kind of the back end kind of science piece here. So I showed that work capacity graph, but the one that really kind of got me going was this 3D graphical representation here. It's figure 2 in the CrossFit Level 1 training guide, which I think it's there, but again, getting back to my spreadsheet, it's there as far as, it gets the point across, but it's not, I kept looking at the numbers. I'm like, this just isn't as useful as something, and I'm glad this spreadsheet here was available, the power output calculator, but again, we still need that everyday strategy. So, what you would do then again is keep track of, okay, if I did this power output here for round 1, round 2, workout 1, workout 2, that's where I think we can really get that extra edge when it comes to making better fitness decisions if we're looking to learn a new skill, improve something specifically, or kind of train for an elite competition. Maybe elite athletes out there, if you're listening, you look at your power output, this could just be, hypothetically looking at the screen here. Let's say you have a 3 movement exercise and you got to do it 5 rounds in a row. Okay, well, let's look at your power output per round. Let's see where you're slipping, right? You can see all the different variables, all the different rates of your repetitions. So, the list goes on. I just rattled off like 3 or 5 different ideas. So that's it for today. Keep moving, and I'll talk to you soon.